Welcome back from the break. We're speaking to Umran Beba, who's the president of the Asia Pacific region of Pepsico, and we're talking about PepsiCo's operations in Pakistan. Umran, prior to the break, we were talking about the market share. Break it down further and come down to your operations, and we divide it into the beverages and the snacks businesses. If you come to the beverages first, how would you say your products are competing with each other?
I think the portfolio management is an important, definitely strategy and critical management topic. Pepsi is definitely focused on the two areas of, let's say, youth interests, sports and music. And as you may remember from Pakistan, of course, cricket will be our main focus, and we are trying to support that sports, national sports, I should say.
I'm going to ask you that as well, but further on.
Those are the two areas that our brands will, the Pepsi will focus on. Dew has a different spirit. Despite it's young and all that, it's actually the young at heart, the extreme feelings at heart, and the advertising will reflect that very much. And then 7-Up will be more for the whole family. You will include more, the kids and the whole family in that range. And Mirinda also in a similar way. So each has a different focus, different approach to the target group. But in terms of execution, we have to manage and make sure there is no, or not much cannibalization, right? Because our focus should be more external competition than internal.
That's right.
Potato chips everywhere is the leading category, and it's the same here also in Pakistan. And Lay's will actually refer to everybody in the family. It's a whole family actually brand. We have Cheetos, which is more for the younger consumers, and Kurkure. Actually, it started in an interesting way for the tea occasion. Right. The launch of that product in different markets actually started with the tea occasion, and tea is also big in Pakistan. But today, I think it's becoming broader. But the focus was really capturing the local relevance. As I said, the spicy attributes, but also going in that occasion. So our advertising or marketing efforts will focus on consumer insights, occasions, different target groups, and the differentiation will happen based on these aspects.
How has PepsiCo actually played a vital part in the Pakistani market in regards to employment creation?
I think that's the also most exciting part of our business, because every time you invest in the market, that means employment in different geographies of the country. We have 1,300 direct employees today, most of them in our head office and in our snacks business. As our beverage model is franchise, we have close to 15,000 employees employed by our partners. But everybody's, I think, heart is beating for PepsiCo brands.
That's
right. So we handle the training and training support, best practice support for all the employees who are not on our payroll, but basically representing our brands. And whenever I go in the market visits, definitely I see the reflection of that very well in the execution. In the stores, and yesterday was an example in Faisalabad. It was a great trade visit we had.
Brilliant, brilliant. Umran, now if you go back 3 years and we talk about the company's performance in comparison to years before, we've seen an economic downturn in Pakistan, and then we've seen the worst floods in history, natural disasters hitting the market. How has the performance of the company been affected by this situation?
Yeah, as you said, from the GDP growth rates of 7-8, we are now talking about 2-3.
2.5 to 3, yeah, that's right.
So that's a big change. Of course, there are other factors like energy shortage, inflation now hitting in the consumer goods, but in the commodities, it's even more affecting our products. So that means some pricing actions, of course, which we don't like most of the time. For the consumer, it's not the best thing. So what we did in the last 3 years, we just stopped and reanalyze the consumer needs, the affordability, the value equation, and the innovation agenda. So the important thing is, again, are we locally relevant? Are we introducing to the consumers the best products that are interesting for them at the right price and offering the right value? So when you look at this strategic change, I think we were very successful, and the volume growth that we are achieving today is really in the good range. And also the floods, as you said, last year was of course an impact in the second half of the year. But I think I have seen a very fast recovery in our operations, but also the resilience of the nation. The nation was very impressive to see how people are coming back and the consumers are coming back. There was a lot of course, efforts from everywhere, I think, to support the relief.
Right, and well, thank you so much for appreciating the people of Pakistan. If we compare the Pakistani market with your other markets, because they've gone through similar problems, there have been natural disasters in a number of countries outside Pakistan. They've been facing the brunt of the economic downturn as well, the international financial downturn. How would you compare the Pakistani market to those markets? Where do you think we stand?
After I started my position in Asia Pacific, actually the first big disaster was Pakistan last year, and this year we started again seeing in Australia floods, in New Zealand an earthquake, and of course the biggest one was in Japan in March. Started as an earthquake, then to tsunami and the whole radiation risks.
Right.
So I think I should say it is very impressive to see that every nation really comes back, goes back to the normal routines after 2-3 months, and our partners also in most of these markets in terms of business point of view were very fast in their response plans and crisis management plans. But I should say in Pakistan, of course, there are different issues you are dealing with, and I see that the resilience is really worth mentioning again, because this is not the first issue that the nation is facing. There are other issues also, sometimes law and order issues that's happening. But I think the youth, the energy, the vibrancy, as I mentioned, in my market visits, I'm observing, you see it again. Right. Very quickly. But I am also happy to report that Pepsico was very fast. The Pepsico Foundation was very fast also to react and help the relief efforts. Our foundation actually donated $1 million during this relief efforts, and there is a lot of rehabilitation effort in terms of education, livestock, and the water. Clean water also was an issue, I remember, immediately after. Livestock loss was an issue, and also the schools. So now we are working on renovation of schools and education efforts for kids, livestock revival, and the cleaning of the water in areas like Swat. And we are doing most of these work with the American Pakistan Foundation.
And if I ask you, how important is the Pakistani market to PepsiCo internationally? What would you say about that?
Yes, definitely very important. It is the 6th largest market we have in the world. So we are committed, and we feel that with all the investments made, our leadership position, the population potential, the young population, and also the future growth possibilities here make us very excited. Right. But on top of it, I think it is the talent. I mean, a very well-educated talent we can reach. As I said, all of our employees are local, so this is great. You can bring in talented people, and our company is offering a very good culture, I should say. So retaining becomes, in that sense, also for us easier. And overall, it's a very exciting market, but the passionate people make the difference. Right. And our partners and employees are really very resilient and very passionate in terms of our business.
So what are your future plans of investment in the Pakistani market? I
mean, as you are in the ranges of double-digit growth, as you are seeing that, whatever is needed to keep on going, the capacity needs, first of all, should continue. We already launched recently the juice drinks and also water.
Right.
So these are new areas in our beverage business. I mean, historically we were more of Pepsi, Mountain Dew, 7-Up, Mirinda, but now we are in the era of Aquafina, Slice, and recently also we have Sting energy drink. So very exciting, and we will be investing, actually our partners, of course, together, we will be investing in these categories going forward. And in the food business, we started distributing Quaker oats, which is a very important category for us with its cholesterol decrease capability. But new categories, as you said, there are still like local categories, you know, the nuts and the namkins, different snacking opportunities. Still, we have to evaluate and go into those areas.
Umran, we'll talk about these opportunities further, and you mentioned Sting, the energy drink, and I would also want to talk about sports drinks and how can we create a market for sports drink in Pakistan. But we'll take a short break. We're speaking to Umran Beba, the president of the Asia Pacific region of PepsiCo. We'll continue our conversation after this short break. Keep watching CNBC Pakistan.